Obviously, buy now, pay later and Klarna have been growing very fast. Consumers getting in the habit of using this means of paying for things more and more. But how does the general trend of rising prices and things getting more expensive, especially big ticket goods, play into the demand for what you're offering?
No, I think it does play in, but I'm also not necessarily that surprised, right? I mean, we had a COVID, which basically, for the majority of people, meant additional funding from government in combination with people saving a lot of money, staying at home, not spending as much. And now as they're getting back, they're able to spend more, and then we're seeing consequentially prices go up. So it feels fairly natural. I think the big shift here is really away from credit cards into debit cards, and then occasionally using services like buy now, pay later instead. And I think that's a very healthy trend because if less people 10 years from now have credit cards and more people have debit cards and use buy now, pay later, we're better off. These products have not been healthy for consumers, historically speaking.
It's certainly preferable, I'm sure, from a consumer's perspective than paying high interest, interest on these bigger balances. But how is it any different, really, from allowing consumers to pay more than perhaps they can immediately afford, even if it's better for them? For you, how is that an interesting proposition?
Well, first and foremost, what we do is obviously we don't charge interest and fees, and that's putting a lot of healthy pressure on the banking industry. I was quite happy and thrilled about seeing Capital One dropping overdraft fees a few days ago. I think that is finally waking banks up to not thinking about only putting money in their own pockets, but actually distributing that to consumers, creating better products. But if you look at buy now, pay later, everything else equal, our suggestion to people is don't use a credit card, don't borrow against all of your spending, your groceries, everything. Use debit cards as much as possible, use money you have. But then occasionally, for example, when you shop online, it's a problem for you because what if I don't get that product? Or what if I do a return? I have to wait for my money back a few weeks. On a credit card, doesn't matter. On a debit card, that's my money back. I want to spend it on something else. So buy now, pay later, credit in specific circumstances makes sense and can be a good tool to solve problems. But then is the question, which type of credit? Is it one that's pushing a credit limit in your face, trying to pretend that you can spend all that money and then revolve at 29% interest rate? Or is it an installment product where you have $100 you're paying off every second week and it's a strict installment cycle and it's free of charge for the consumers? Because consumers are rewarding merchants with higher AOV, more conversion rate online as they're offering these better alternatives to credit cards. So I think that is just a healthier mix in society.
Everywhere you go, you hear about buy now, pay later, and we talk about the stocks like Affirm and Afterpay, and there's just so much action. How is the competitive landscape unfolding as you are seeing such great growth, especially in the U.S.?
Well, we're super excited. So we're actually now hitting 21 million users in the U.S. We have close to 100 million globally. And in the top 100 largest e-com sites, we have 25, which is as much as Afterpay and Affirm combined. So I think we're doing really, really well. I think on a global basis, actually, it's PayPal we're after. They are only 3 times the size of us in number of users, but we're seeing in all the European markets, our share of checkout is beyond PayPal's now, in the ones that we've been a little bit longer, and we think they have a good opportunity here to be a disruptor. And I hope, my sincere hope is that maybe some of that market price decline on PayPal in the last few weeks is that more people are starting to wake up to the fact that Klarna is making serious inroads in the US market. Consumers really like the product and are picking it up. So that's super exciting for us.